Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor Thailand did not tell us in the edited TV show. Some of these are game related, some are strategic, and some are just plain silly. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on TV, it's fair game to be considered a secret. And while most of the secrets here are focused on Survivor Thailand, some of them do apply to Survivor as a whole. Heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting. Not every single secret in existence about the season is in this video. So with that, let's count all 30 of them in absolutely no particular order.
39 days, 16 people, 1 survivor.
Number 1. This first secret is a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and I think you will soon see why. Tanya. Do you remember her? She was the second boot of the season and the only young player on Chewigon. Anyways, here's her audition tape for the season.
Oh, and give me the opportunity to reveal myself to you.
Ooh.
All right. You didn't actually think I was going to be naked, did you?
It's very clever.
Nicely done.
Okay, so with that in mind, one of the co-hosts asked this.
If Hollywood calls, you're okay with that?
Yeah, definitely.
How about Playboy? I'm sorry, I have to ask.
No, I don't know about that. I work with sexually abused children, so I don't think that that's a good idea.
Well, that took a turn for the serious, didn't it? Oh, and it doesn't end there.
Do they fly you back first class?
Actually, yes, I did come back first.
All right.
Now, is that normal or because you were so sick?
I think it's, well, my father died and I had to come home.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and so, when they flew me home, I did go home first class. So.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry to hear about that.
Definitely.
Please, no more questions for Tanya. I can't take all of these plot twists she throws at us. Number 2, the attack zone. Yes, I do have a few secrets about it sprinkled throughout this video. First, the question on everyone's mind, why did Robb choke Clay?
What happened there? What were you thinking, Robb?
Clay's actually quite a great deal shorter than me, and it wasn't like I went for him and went to grab his neck. That wasn't my idea in the whole situation. I just tried to grab him and throw him off the platform, and unfortunately, it kind of looked like I was trying to bully the poor guy around.
Yeah.
But no, I never meant to choke the guy out.
Number 3, the attack zone is a complete mess of a challenge, and I love it. It's so raw and clearly not well thought out, and it causes Jeff to be so annoyed. Later versions of it in other seasons make it clear when the right time to fight is, but here it isn't clear at all. And even the early show points out how Jeff is wrong.
Supposedly, if you stepped into this zone on the bamboo sticks, where it was like gold and black, then you can attack. Were you in that zone or were you not? Jeff Probst says you were not in the zone.
I mean, we don't have instant replay out there, so we just got to go with the referee's judgment.
I think it might have been that you made the lunge and maybe your hands made physical contact with the person before your foot.
Yeah.
With that, thank you for watching Once Upon an Island. Liking and subscribing really helps, and if you want to pick what videos I make and watch every video weeks and even months early, then consider supporting the channel on Patreon. If that interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Number 4, Brian Heidick is by far one of the most controversial winners due to his actions outside of Survivor. For example, he didn't reveal before he played that he was an adult film star, and afterwards he shot a puppy with a bow and arrow that he says he thought was a wolf. But here's more of Brian's side of that story.
The girl I was married to at the time is a publicity hound a little bit. We were at the end of our relationship anyway, our marriage, and it was one of those things that I'd had some ducks that I'd given to my son for Easter, and they were mauled, and we weren't quite sure if it was from a coyote or whatever was around the area. Okay. So I was obviously on the lookout. I'm a big hunter, and I was looking out to see exactly what could have mauled them. Then one night, there's some stuff going on in the backyards. I had my other dogs barking. I took a shot at something that looked like a coyote and was not a coyote. That turned out to be a dog. So that's all that was. She made a big deal about it, made a phone call. Oh my gosh, the Survivor guy is shooting dogs in our backyard. One thing led to another, I was arrested.
Number 5, back to the attack zone and also the Gondia incident at the same time. You'll see how these connect. Here is the ad for this episode that they aired before it happened, and yeah.
CBS Thursday. A challenge so intense, the tribes are at each other's throats, literally.
He's a weak little whiny punk.
And what really happened between these two castaways?
He started to be sexual.
It's a case of he said, she said.
I'm not even attracted to you.
This is the Survivor you'll be debating with your friends. An all-new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Number 6. Chewy was peeing in the cave, aka where everyone was sleeping. If you have never smelled human pee outside before, then just know that it only takes 1 or 2 times for it to really smell. And this is happening so many times with so many different people in a cave. So anyways, here's what Ken said happened when he confronted them about this.
What did you say? Were they offended?
No, I think they were more embarrassed than anything else. It was that I didn't even want to say anything because I was embarrassed to even approach him with it because, you know, come on.
And it wasn't just the men who were using it as
No, it was the women as well.
Number 7. Weight loss is out of this world in these early seasons, and none more so than how much Ken and Ted lost this season.
I'm Jalise Chen, along with ex-survivor Ted Rogers, who now we call Medium Ted. He lost 60 pounds.
Number 8. It's Ted and Gandia time. I will try to keep these brief, but during his interview, he is asked if there's anything he did in the game he regrets, and
one of the advice was to suck it all in. I sucked it all in, and I have no regrets whatsoever. This was fun.
So how does he not regret the Gandia incident? What? Number 9. Let's address that incident with Gandia, because if Ted had done that on season 39, then I am sure he would have been ostracized, just like Dan Spilo. Here's how he thinks about the incident after the game and how his wife responded to seeing it.
It was truly an unfortunate mistake on my part that had to deal with dreams. I mean, even before that incident, I remember incidents where I had a vivid dream of a lizard attacking me, and I was yelling and screaming, and Mama J basically had to tell people to, you know, wake them up, get them out of this dream. Unfortunately, that's just me. I have vivid dreams, and in that position with Gandia at that time, I had an inappropriate dream, and I acted inappropriately. However, I don't take full responsibility for blowing the proportion out way out, but I do take responsibility for the mistake.
What did your wife say about this whole incident?
I tell you, my wife is an amazing person, and just like any other spouse, she was upset and she was very, very embarrassed as I was. But we worked through this together, and we resolved the issue, and now we look back at that as a mistake that happened.
Number 10. Brian not only called his shot on the show about him winning, but he called it pregame too when he said,
I'm motivated by a few things. Again, it boils back to, I will, if I have to, I will have the longest skates, I will have the biggest teeth, I will be the fastest, swiftest shark if need be. I hope it doesn't have to resort to that, because I'm one of the best if it does.
Number 11. Some of us may view Clay as a GOAT, and we will get to why Brian brought Clay to the end in a bit. But Clay doesn't think so. In fact, he knows he is a threat before the game even begins.
I haven't seen any guy or any person yet that I can't beat at any kind of skill or race. I mean, I may be little, but at 46, but I got a big ass heart, and I have kept in fairly well shape all my life.
Number 12. When you think about the cast of Survivor Thailand, what comes to mind? A hot mess of mediocreness? A bunch of scrubs waiting to be run over by Brian's strategic game? Don't be silly now. Here's how CBS was trying to sell them to us before the season ever began.
Just one glance at the new cast for Survivor Thailand, and the first thing that comes to your mind is...
This is, without a doubt, the best looking cast I've ever seen on Survivor. The guys are hot.
I mean, I'm girl crazy. I'm 23 years old. I'm happy-go-lucky. Girls are a huge part of my life.
Number 13. What if Mr. Challenge Beast himself, Clay Jordan, won the final immunity challenge? Who would he have taken to the final 2?
If you had won that immunity challenge, would you have taken Brian?
Yes.
Loyalty or strategy?
Both loyalty and strategy.
You thought you could have won it?
I felt I had a better chance to get Brian than Helen or Jen. They were strong. They were very well liked, very well respected.
Number 14. How did Helen not see her vote out coming? It seemed so obvious to us, and even her husband, who was only there for a day, could see what was going on. So, how did Brian and Clay trick her?
I was told by the two handsome gentlemen on either side of me that it was...
Just to have her in the back.
that it was Jan going, and that day she was off by herself, and I thought she was crying, and I came up to both these guys and I said, I can't do this. She's over there crying. Please, I think we need to tell her she's going. Fully aware that I'm thinking she's going. and it's me going.
Number 15. Okay, let's do it. Let's address the GOAT in the room. Why did Brian take Clay to the end over other people like Helen, Jan, and Ted?
Clay had more enemies than I did. I had no choice but to take Clay. Didn't want to risk it with the ladies that didn't have anything to do with us winning, or they had a lot to do with being on the island, but there are a lot of mixed emotions towards me because I helped out in a lot of the wins and helping take them down, and I would have been pissed at me if I was on the other tribe, so I wouldn't want me up there.
Number 16. This season began with a bit of a trick, if you might recall. Everyone was separated between men and women, a twist they wouldn't actually do until the next season in the Amazon. But the real question is, why? Why tease this twist during Thailand?
What it was we were in a very Muslim area of Thailand. And I think they wanted to be respectful of the culture where they were. And that's why they had us in groups of men and women only. Mark Burnett had actually asked me, and he told me that we were going to be, marching in a men tribe and a women tribe. And I said, oh, is that how the game's going to be? And he just looked at me, you know how he can just look at you with that sly smile, and he says, why would that be something that you're interested in? And I looked at him, I said, oh God, no, not unless I can be on the male tribe.
Number 17. How has Helen never played again? I think she played a good game, and if she had figured Brian out, then she could have easily won it all. So have they ever called her back?
Well, yeah, were you contacted, Helen?
Absolutely. I had everything. I had gone through the all of the physicals again. I had to mail off like blood samples and doctor's reports. I was there. I was in the mix up until a week before.
Number 18. Everyone remembers the mutiny from season 13 Cook Islands, as that changed the landscape of that season. But not many of us remember that they actually offered a mutiny this season as well, and it amounted to a whole lot of nothing. So how did they promote this not important event?
Survivor Thursday. When you live on an island, there's one thing you should never lose.
A boat's gone.
And a sea creature takes a bite out of a castaway. Then a stunning proposal could change everything.
Does anybody here want to switch tribes?
Don't miss an all-new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Number 19. The tapes from home this season give us a glimpse into the private life of Brian that he instantly regrets. And how did CBS promote this episode before it aired?
Survivor Thursday. Messages from home will bring some castaways joy.
I wish you were here.
And others to tears.
I love you, sweetie.
But now, clues from their personal lives
She's a little crazy.
could be used against them.
This guy doesn't need the money. That'd be enough to vote him off.
In the ultimate Survivor Showdown.
The tribe has spoken.
All new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Number 20. People didn't like Sheehan this season. I mean, they didn't like her much on All Stars either, but the dislike here was even greater. Even Erin on her early show interview says her best move in the game was this.
The best part of my experience in Thailand of 24 days living out there was the moment that I got to vote off Sheehan.
Ouch! That's a pretty strong statement.
It is a strong statement, but I had wanted to vote her off probably from day 2. And I kept her around only for strategy, and I feel a couple of the other members, I can't speak for them myself, but I feel that's how they felt also.
Number 21. Seasons 22 and before, the winner didn't receive their checks at the live reunion. Oh no, they would get them the next morning on the early show, and it is surreal seeing how much the show used to care by having Mark and Jeff there to do it.
What are you going to do with the money?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff.
Nice work, Brian.
Thank you.
What are you going to do with $1 million?
Double it, triple it, quadruple it.
So you're not going to go buy, you're just going to invest?
I'm going to take care of business, take care of the people around me, and take care of myself. But I do want to... It's so funny.
He's counting this where he's like, I do.
It's so funny how people are always talking about how much they want to spend it. Let's talk about what we're going to do with it and how we can maybe double it or triple it. So that's what I want to try to do good with it and increase.
Number 22. As someone who wasn't playing the game, but watched it firsthand, here's how Jeff explains the game that Brian played.
About midway through, I did notice that he was extremely smart at the game, and at not manipulating people, but at giving people what they needed. Brian's the first guy to figure out that Julie likes to have people nod back at her, and so he figures out how, and then he knows that I like just a little subtle handshake, so he gives me the little tiny handshake, and and he figures out what you need to get used car salesman. I mean, it worked.
Mm-hmm. You had that advantage over everybody else then.
Julie, you will never get Brian. I don't care what it is. No matter what happens, he intended it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Is that true?
A little luck helps too.
You were the puppet master kind of controlling everybody out there?
A little luck doesn't hurt. A little luck doesn't hurt.
This guy doesn't break a sweat.
No, he doesn't. Him and Richard Hatch together.
Number 23. Okay, so has Brian ever been contacted to play again? The puppy incident happened in 2006, a couple years after All-Stars. So that shouldn't have been a factor in the casting of that season. Here's what Brian said happened.
They actually offered to come back, and I said, well, if you want Brian to play, here's the ego coming out. Yeah. If you want Brian to play, you're going to have to pay. Yeah. And so I wanted 50 grand to come back through CBS to come back, and I'd never, once they asked, and then I said that's my deal, and I'd never heard anything back. The only thing I could think of between that and myself and Jeff Probst going back and forth behind the scenes at camera, when the camera wasn't rolling, he would say things like, Brian, when I ask a question, I need you to answer it. I said, no, I'm not going to answer it how you want me to answer it. And then one thing led to another, then it was F you and F you. So that did happen.
Number 24. This next secret is more of a pet peeve of mine rather than a secret, but screw it. This is getting really meta. This is now behind the scenes of the behind the scenes videos. I get tired so quickly listening to players be delusional about supposedly just being out there for the adventure and not the $1 million prize, and definitely not to play the game. Oh no, and definitely not to be on TV. Like, this is season 5, not season 1. Let's be serious.
I wasn't there for the money. I was there for the adventure. So I wasn't worried about playing the game and flying under the radar.
But don't you have to be worried? It's a game. If you're there not worried about playing the game, then what are you doing? Because you're there to play the game.
Right, but I signed up because I wanted the adventure. I wanted to experience, not really the challenge of the game, obviously, but just to have fun and meet new people, and because I was wanting to be good TV. I wanted to be a good character for television. I didn't want to be like anyone else that had ever been on there. I wanted to be unique. I think I accomplished that,
Number 25. How do you promote Survivor when absolutely nothing of interest is happening in the next episode? Well, I have the answer for you.
Survivor is the #1 program of the week, and still the best. Last week, the new castaways arrived in Thailand to a shocking surprise. Wait until you see what they face this Thursday.
Oh my God.
New surprises.
4 or 5 hours. We should be seeing it. And we hadn't seen nothing.
New conflicts.
It's one thing to be lazy, but to be freaking lazy is another thing.
And new challenges. An all-new episode of Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Number 26, back to the attack zone. It has been far too long since we have had a secret about it. My question is, where did the inspiration for this challenge come from?
One of my favorite challenges of all time we did in Thailand called Pilfering Pirates. It was an idea spawned by seeing all the local Thai people walking on little planks from boat to boat, and came up with the idea that let's have some floating balance beams. They have to take items out of the other tribe's boat, and in the middle, there'll be an attack zone. They have physical combat, and the last person to hit the water can move on.
Number 27, Robb's luxury item this season was a skateboard. A skateboard on a beach and in the jungle. What exactly was his game plan here? Well, here's Robb's explanation for why he brought it out there.
During the media blitz after Survivor, everyone wanted to know why I chose to bring a skateboard. And like point blank, my first thing that I wanted to bring was a football. And shout out to Boston Robb, he was on the season before me. Dude brought a football the season before, and they're like, we can't have 2 people in a row named Robb that brought a football. And I was like, okay. She's like, what do you have in your room? And I'm like, a skateboard? And she goes, oh my God, Meredith. She goes, oh my God, I love that. Hold on, I have to go ask the producers. So this lady comes back and tells me that that's what I'm bringing. I had no say in it. It definitely was not what I decided to bring with me. It never got used in Thailand.
Number 28. Do you hate when players are being lazy during a show? They're not really doing much to help them win the game. It happens a lot on Big Brother, but rarely does Julie Chen, the host of Big Brother, say a word about to those players. But on Survivor, she's not putting up with it.
Jed Hildebrand became the first member of the Sukjai tribe, kicked off Survivor Thailand after irritating the other teammates with his, shall we say, laid-back approach.
That's not what you said earlier.
Okay, I said lazy, whatever. Leave me alone. I already confessed to Jed. I'm like, okay, we've been calling you lazy all morning.
Jed said
laid back.
He's got something for you. How would you describe your strategy?
My strategy was to keep everyone strong and healthy.
Especially you. That's why you didn't help build the shed.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Number 29, Sheehan and Robb were mortal enemies this season, but there's a fine line between love and hate. Just ask Sheehan.
Well, you know, Robb and I, we just had some unrequited love going on there.
Yeah, he totally wanted you.
He did. He just, you know, is like the boy that in the playground that pulled your pigtail a lot. Just, you know,
Well,
he
he's
loved
young.
me.
Yeah, he's young. He's you know.
He's cute, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. When he cleaned up, I thought he was kind of cute.
He's cute.
Number 30, Robb also participated on another show, this one being much trashier, called Elimidate. I hate to admit it, I actually saw this show as a teenager. Not only can you watch his entire episode on YouTube in all of its early 2000s glory, but you can also watch Robb react to the whole thing and make fun of himself too.
I'm Robb. I'm an aspiring rock star and local bartender. I have 2 passions in life, chicks and music.
So which secret surprised you the most? Comment below, let me know. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.